to another episode of Fired Up for Friday, where we go over some upcoming releases this Friday that I'm looking forward to. And with so many releases coming out every Friday, what albums are you guys looking forward to? What did I miss? Let me know in the comments, and make sure you subscribe and smash that like button so you guys get the latest content of what's coming out. This is the first week that we're also going to do the album of last week, because this is the second episode. We didn't really have an album of last week since it was the first episode. So without further ado, buckle up and let's see what's dropping this Friday, February 6th of 2026. In one of the most adventurous, full-length debut albums that I've ever heard, New Hampshire's Agenbite Misery have released one emotional, extreme metal album in their latest effort, Remorse of Conscious. Inspired by the 14th century novel Ulysses, written by James Joyce, references of this literary work can be found all over this album, as well as emotional and sincere metal feels. This modern extreme metal album combines and draws from almost every subgenre of metal, which makes this one solid record and widely appealing to the masses. With 8 songs spread over 55 minutes, Agenbite Misery takes listeners on a musical journey through the countries of doom, sludge, death, and so many more. With Blackened vocals and lyrics referencing loss, grief, and finding purpose in this modern chaotic world. Yeah, all that's inside this one record, which is a surprisingly fluid debut for having so much just jammed into it. With so many different sounds pulled from so many different styles of metal, song after song and riff after riff just flowed seamlessly into each other like a babbling brook. And I like that Agenbite Misery took the risk and tried to inject all these different sounds, which plays really well to every aspect of my ears. And while he never stayed in one subgenre for too long, it gave me the feeling of wanting so much more after each riff plays and after each song plays, which only made me want to delve into this album more. But I got other albums to review. I can't be listening to this for weeks. The more I kept coming back to this though, the more I found buried in the mix, in a plethora of riffs, sounds, and influences that I missed the first time around. So make sure you listen to this one several times through, just so you catch it all. One hell of a debut record and a great place to start for this upcoming Friday. And with a sound all of their own, this one was really difficult for me to compare anything to. Make sure you head over and check out Remorse of Conscious by New Hampshire's Agenbite Misery. Remorse of Conscious is going to get a 79 out of 100, C+, right on the verge of cracking into that B. Mexican progressive metal band Phendrana releases their newest effort, Cathexis. I hope I said that right. And Cathexis isn't just a written metal album, it's a composed progressive metal effort. As soon as you press play, the listener is welcomed by a slowly unfolding soundscape, carefully manicured for your ears. Does this mean that Precision makes a lighter fare progressive metal album? Hell no! This thing is methodically written and is best devoured as one complete album, as it's only 4 songs, but next thing you know, it's 5 hours later and you're on your 100th time through this thing. This album has a lot of dynamic and textured sounds, and would be for fans of bands like Opeth or Rivers of Nile and even Catatonia. The slower tempos, the constantly shifting feels, and the seamless flowing made this a phenomenal listen. With several literary passages and some crunchy vocals, this album has a cinematic feel to it, where the dirty vocals and the heavy riffs help balance out the more avant-garde metal approaches of some saxophone, some string instruments, and a truly artistic approach. Exploring themes of loss, grief, and isolation, I feel with the expansive amount of time between those albums reminds me of the 2020 to 2023 COVID years, where I first experienced a lot of those same feelings of grief, loss, isolation, and it was my first time experiencing that. So this album helped me process some of those feelings, continually listening to it over and over. I listened to this album so many times that the promo actually cut me off. Like it was a 2 a.m. last call at the bar. The only difference is with Cathexis is you wake up in the morning with one piece of beauty laying next to you. And this one-man metal project draws on his experience as a composer, following up their 2018 album Sanctum, Sic Transit Gloria Mundi. That's a mouthful. It won several accolades to include Extreme Metal Album of the Year at Mexico's yearly Osmium Metal Awards. So when I tell you that Cathexis is building upon one truly exquisite foundation, I mean it. I'm going to go out on a limb and give Phendrana an 82 on this one. Solid B. Anyone who knows me knows that the most important thing to me in life is a riff. And a good riff, whether it's the lead or the rhythm, can really make or break a song. And if you do know me, you know that I'm not a fan of power metal. Sometimes it's way too happy, way too positive, and sometimes comes off as a bit cheesy. So I was a bit apprehensive digging in to Love Kills by the power metal band Induction. I figured with a lighter release week, I'd give it a try, and I'm so glad I did. This upbeat album, Love Kills, mixes in traditional power metal sounds and leans into some new wave of British heavy metal sounds. And Love Kills has the traditional sounds and pacing of a power metal album, but it also has dizzying riffs of guitar with impressive tones. And Induction is led by Tim Kanoa Hansen, the son of the legendary Kai Hansen from bands like Gamma Ray and Halloween. So this is another case of the apple falling not too far from the tree. Everything is done at a high level to include vocals, drumming, guitar work, writing, production. In the string section, it's impeccable, ripping off note after note in a melodic fashion. Love Kills will have you banging your head and pumping your fist to these 11 ragers with swift riffs, bright arpeggios, and some speed driven by the timekeeping drummer. This album was a blast. And again, at times leaning towards new wave of British heavy metal greats, I was in this for the long haul. And this is for fans of bands like Sonata Arctica, Battle Beast, and Gamma Ray and Halloween. Does this mean I like power metal now? No! But it does mean I like Induction's Love Kills because it's killer. I'm going to go out and give this one a 77, a solid C. Probably because I'm not that much of a fan of power metal or clean vocals. But the guitars, oh man. And now I also decided over the course of the last week that I should tell you what my favorite album was from last week, January 30th. I don't get promos on every album, so I do miss a lot, and I try to go back through the week and hit them all. So let me know what your favorite album was from the January 30th releases. I didn't do these episodes for the first couple weeks of January, so let me know what I missed. So for album of the week for last week, I chose Dream Crush by the band Mole. I hope I pronounced it right, it's M-O-L. And I was brand new to Mole when I gave this thing a go, and I'm so glad I did. It's kind of easy to compare this band to Death Heaven, but if you get in there and you scratch past the surface, there's vast differences between the two camps. I like that they mixed in some influences from 80s and rock music while still keeping some black metal incorporated influences, which all worked really well over the black shoegazy atmospherics. And many of the rock influences that bleed into this album really appeals to some of the nostalgic sounds that I listened to all throughout my life. I get nostalgic memories of bands like Depeche Mode and The Cure, or Smashing Pumpkins and Weezer, but you get some black metal vocals over top of it, which I enjoy just as much of that blackened shoegazy sound. And with 11 songs spread over 47 minutes, with this culmination of yesteryear's sounds, this really was one great listen for me. This album has a ton buried in it and has a lot of playability. And honestly, it's on the verge of just being too damn playable. A few moments bogged down for me, and at times I can feel this is sort of predictable, but that just gave it a feeling of being like an old warm hoodie or sweater, wrapped up in warmth and nostalgia. This one's off Nuclear Blast Records, and I'm going with an 86 solid B on this one. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. What did I miss? And what are you looking forward to on this February 6th release? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching.